3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? This is the Undefeated by Choice podcast brought to you by Steelfist, and I'm here with my guest today, Justin, the Lumberjack McDonald. How you doing, brother?
Good, Jim.
Excellent. So we got a fight coming up January 24th. January 4th, not the 24th. January 4th for the welterweight amateur title. How's that feel, man?
Feels pretty good.
You're young in your career.
I'm 29, so I mean, I'm actually going to be 30 here in 4 months. So I mean, I'm not that young. Well, not that young anymore, but
you're young in your career, right?
I am.
You're three fights in, right?
3 fights in. This will be my 4th in less than a year.
3-0, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, how's that feel?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah. You want to pull the microphone up a little closer to your mouth? There we go. I do. Well, let's get into. Let's start from the beginning.
All right.
The nickname, the Lumberjack. Where does that come from?
All right. So, my second fight with Pendleton, they, come out. They call me Mac Daddy, and I was seeing a girl at the time, and she was there. And after the fight, we're sitting there, and she just looks at me. She was like, "Mac Daddy,
that ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work. Hell no." And so I look at her. I'm like, "All right, well, you pick a name then. Whatever you pick, I'm going to stick with." She just looks at me and she's like, "Well, you're always scruffy. Before you fight, you got the beard, your construction, you have your boots on." She's like, "The Lumberjack." All right.
That's where it took.
So that's where it took, and I mean, I think it fits. I love being up in the mountains. I run up there for my conditioning and all that. So love hunting. So Lumberjack, hey, why not?
So here's the real question: are you still dating this girl?
No, I'm not.
No. You didn't change the name after you. So she gets to have that over you for the rest of your life. Is I gave you that name. I gave you that name. That was the name I gave you.
Hey, it's fine with me. So it sticks. I mean, my little boy likes it. He says he's the little Lumberjack. So it's like, hey, okay. Man, it fits.
All right. So when are you gonna lean into it fully and have it's not camo. What's the flannel?
Flannel?
Why do you have the flannel shorts? Have some flannel shorts on. Not like the material flannel, because that'd be too hot, but have your shorts look like they're flannel.
I'll look into that.
Yeah. So, you got to do that. You got to lean into it fully.
All right. Well, I already got my shorts for this one, so
next fight.
Next fight, I'll have the flannel shorts, and I'll even come out in a flannel shirt fight.
Oh yeah, so. I love it. You got to find some I don't know, some kind of music, some kind of I don't know what kind of music. I guess just country music, right?
Country music. I mean, maybe I'll put on some Jelly Roll because he does that country rap stuff as well. So maybe I'll go to Jelly Roll for.
There you go. Fight. I like the Lumberjack. I can see it, and as a man who used to rock a beard constantly, I appreciate the beard. One day the beard will come back. Once I'm doing this full time. Once I get some sponsorships, people paying for this, I can quit all my other jobs. I'm gonna grow the beard back.
Yeah, I got some good
beard oil.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll hook you up.
I need some because I didn't use beard oil when I used to do it. When I used to grow my beard out, and I had it down here. No, I would grow it for 6 months, and it was down here. I was like, man, if I could go for a year on that thing, I would have the best beard. But now I'd have to do bald up top with the beard, which isn't a bad look.
Hey,
it's not terrible.
I mean, one thing I found, I am going bald, so girls do like beards and bald heads.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, best of both worlds here.
Yep. I can show that I can grow some legit hair, but it's all underneath, below the ears, and I can get a group. It's all gray now though, but I'm okay with that. I'm fine with it. I'm fine looking distinguished with a gray beard. So how's camp coming, man? We're closing up. We're what, 10, 12 days away, something like that. When people watch this will be the week of the fight, so you all don't know, but this is you're close. How is it coming along? How's everything going?
It's going great. Jake's been sick, so I've just been waiting for him to come back, and we got a game plan that we're going to stick with. I think we'll do pretty good.
Yeah.
I love training with Jake. He hasn't tried to change any type of fighting style that I bring. He just looks at me. He's like, okay, you're great with this. We're going to stick with this, and we're just going to keep excelling at it. And I mean, he does great with that. So I love going to training every day.
So just for people who don't know, where do you train at? And then just give us your training partners, who your main training partners are you work with, and just kind of what everyone's kind of job is in your camp.
I train at Snake Pit. We moved over to with Salt Lake Muay Thai, so we kind of have best of both worlds right there. My main coach is Jake Paul. Guys I mainly train with is Tyler Daniel, Taylor, I can't even say his last name. I'm gonna try. There we go. Kent, his brother as well. My boy Trevor Golden, who's been in this for a while. I do train with Hayden Brown as well, and then some guys that come in. My other coach Nod as well. He's from Serbia. I don't even know his last name, and
it's all good. It's all good. When you get to usually when you meet people, so you just get a quick name, and then you don't go from there. Like, okay, what's your official name? Yeah, I do that all the time. Like, people introduce me to someone. Generally, people introduce me to someone. Your name goes in and directly out, which is the worst thing. And I always tell myself, like, pay attention. But I'm just like, it's for the longest time. I told myself, like, oh, you're not gonna remember their name, or you'll never meet them again. You're not gonna remember their name. So I'd like just let it go out. And then now that I'm trying to remember people's names, it just goes in and out. So I know you get introduced to a coach, you start calling by the name, and then that's it. You don't like, hey, what's your name? Where your family from? Like, yeah, you knew he's from Serbia. You know his first name. You're good. Exactly. He knows who it is.
Exactly, because everyone's they're like, oh, what's his name? Nod. Last name? I don't know, man. Like, you can go ask him. I mean, he's a big boy. He scares me. So, but I love training with him though.
Good. And so, Snake Pit, where's that located?
3,300 south, and I think it's 400 east.
Oh, we get exact location. Like you can drive up to the spot. Oh, yeah. And you just joined with a Muay Thai group. What was it? What was the Snake Pit primarily? Like, what did you guys primarily train before you brought in the Muay Thai?
Wrestling and jits.
Okay, so you guys are ground specific or ground heavy. So you're going into a fight with another ground guy. How's that going to work out?
I think it's going to go great. I mean, I got 5 brothers as well. I mean, we all wrestled each other from, I mean, by the time we could walk. So, just having those 5 brothers with me just constantly, I mean, it's helped me out. And then going there training with the guys and, wrestling around with them and all that, so it helps out a lot. And then I also have Ethan and Clay there, who are great jits guys. They help me out every day. I go through, oh, here's a scenario for you. How are you going to get out? We go through that probably about 20-30 minutes a day. Yeah. Just to help me out if I get caught somewhere, so that way I'm not panicking. I can stay calm. I can get out of it and do what I need to do.
Yeah. How's the weight cut coming along?
It's actually going pretty good. I got a meal prep sponsor, Elite Meal Prep. 3 meals a day, keto based, and it's helped me out a lot. My weight actually right now, I weighed myself 3 days ago. I was at 174, so I only got 4 pounds left to lose.
Oh yeah, that's great, because we were talking before, and you were telling me before the show started, we were talking about your weight, and you don't even walk around that much bigger than the 170. But as I was telling you, like, you're a big 170, and when you get into the ring, you look all of 185. I mean, you look like you're back to what you're walking around weight when you get into the cage. So, like, you can tell that it's not a hard cut for you because you're already fully hydrated by the time you get back in there. You've never looked super drained at any of the weigh-ins, and so being at 174 this far out, like, I mean, that's an easy cut.
Yeah, it's just all water weight. And I'll be honest too, my first 2 fights right after I thought I was in good shape, dude. As soon as I got to the back, dude, I went straight to the bathroom and started puking. I'll be honest with that one. So I was just like, I gotta kick my conditioning up. Yeah. So
did your first 2 fights go the distance? Your last fight went the distance, correct?
No,
it didn't.
My first fight was second round guillotine. My second fight went the distance with Dylan, and then my last fight with Thomas, who I want to thank as well for stepping in on short notice, ended with second round TKO.
Okay. Yeah. I remember I was at that one because I believe it was. Did we meet at the weigh-ins? That was just before your fight with Dylan, I believe.
It was.
Because you were already asking to be on the podcast.
I saw that. I'm like, dude, I want to be on that. Like, that's pretty cool. You know, just to kind of help. You know, throw out. You know, the Steelfist brand. You know, and all that. You know.
And it's, I mean, of course, it's all Steelfist based. I love this company. I love working with these guys. But I mean, but at the end of the day, like I could do this, and I could talk about the fights, and I could you know, promote Steelfist. But it's really for you guys. It's really to get your guys' names out there. You guys are the ones that are bringing in the crowd. You guys are the ones that are bringing in the fans. That is putting money into. It is paying for this whole thing to happen. Without you guys bringing in your fans and building a fan base, we don't have a show. Steelfist can't turn on the lights if we don't have butts and seats. And so it really is, you know, it's all about you guys. And so that's why I wanted to do it. And so that's why when I have fighters like you that are like, yeah, I want to do the podcast. I got Pat blow me up right now because there's a wife of a fighter who's like, oh, he's got to get on the podcast this time. And so like, I'm like, yes, I'll get him on. Don't worry about it. I'll get him on. And so like, I'm all about it. Like fighters who want to come on, of course it has to make sense. I can't have like a first time fighter. I mean, I've done it. I did it the last time, but like, you know, you kept being like, dude, I want to get on the podcast. I'm like, well, get a main event, get a co-main, or get a title fight. So you got yourself the title fight. I did. So now you're going in January 4th against, you know, another well-known ground guy, 4-4 Scott Devlin. It's 4-4, right? I believe so.
From my understanding, he's undefeated as a welterweight. From my understanding.
Okay.
From what I do believe, I think it was Pat that told me that he's undefeated at 170.
Yeah, and those who don't know, I guess you've never been to a Steelfist show, because I feel like Scott's been on every Steelfist show for the past 8 shows. I mean, all 8 fights I swear have been for Steelfist, and he's one of those kids that, you know, steps in last minute. He's an independent fighter, comes up, he's always ready to fight. But there is some beef between you two. There is, because I remember from the very first time I met you, you were talking about fighting Scott Devlin. So what is it? Like, just let us know what's going on. I hope I can get his side of the story as well, but for right now, we're gonna get your side of the story, because I've been hearing his name in your mouth since I met you. So let's hear it.
All right. So when I first started training, you know, my first training partner was Hayden Brown. He's family to me. Started training. We took the first fight, and he was like, hey, you know, you're great on the ground. He's like, I think you should fight Scott Devlin. You know, I think that would be a great matchup for you. Both of you guys are ground guys. He's like, I think that would help you see where your ground game's at.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, you know, see what you can do. You know, second fight, I didn't get him. You know, I got Dylan Pelleton for my second fight, and I'm like, all right, you know, I'll take this fight. And, you know, through the whole fight, I'm just sitting there like, I really want to fight Scott. Like, I want to see our ground game go at it, you know, see who's better on the ground.
Yeah.
And so I talked to Pat. I'm like, hey, dude, like, can I have Devlin after, you know, Dylan? And he's like, well, call him out. So I did. You know, right after the Pelleton fight, I called him out. Did you do it in the cage? No, I did it on Facebook. Okay. So posted it up. Hayden tagged him in it. You know, text Pat. I'm like, dude, have you heard anything? You know, and he's like, no. And then Kevin texted me. He's like, hey, you know, he hasn't responded to us. I got this other kid for June. I'm like, you know, I got too much work right now. You know, I'm going to be going out of town. I took that since, you know, I didn't hear anything. And then end of May, I think it was like 27th or 28th, Pat hit me up. Hey, Devlin said June 28th. And I was close to saying yes, but I was about 195 pounds. And, you know, dropping 25 pounds in a month would...
not fun. Yeah,
it's not going to be fun.
And then very bad for your body.
Yeah, and then also with me committed to be out of town for a month, I'm like, I'm not going to get any training in. My diet's going to be shit. And, you know, that's not going to be a good fight. You know, when I step in the cage, I want to make sure I'm at top performance. That way I can put on a show for everybody that comes and watches me fight. So I'm like, no, you know, I'm out of town right now. Ain't going to work. Well, third fight, you know, I get Jordan Taylor. From my understanding, he got injured. And then, so I fought Thomas, and Pat told me, he was like, if you win this, you get Devlin. I'm like, hell yeah. All right, here we go now. I gotta win this fight. So I win it. call him out, and immediately he responds, you know, saying I'm shit talker and all this. I'm just like, dude, I called you out back in April. You didn't say anything until the end of May for the June fight. I know we're amateur fighters, but, you know, I want some room to train, make sure I'm in, you know, fight peak shape to fight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come here as a slouch and get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
So now that I got you, it's on. So I'm ready.
So it started out as a respect thing. I want to know where my ground game's at. You're a good ground guy. I want to fight you. And then it was like, let's fight. And then it was like, I want to hear, let's go. And then he finally, okay, so it's I mean, I'm all for it. Like I've been very critical of shit talkers on this podcast, but it doesn't sound to me like there's a lot of that going on. It just sounds like a lot of, I want to fight you, let's fight. And so
I feel like he also dodged that question. That question back in April, because he got tagged and didn't say anything, but then this last one, people were tagging him, and then he starts saying, it's like, dude, I feel like you dodged me back in April. Like when I called you out the night after the fights, hey, you gotta win, I gotta win, let's go.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything for you for a month that you want to fight in June. Like, dude, come on. That's complete dodging. I don't care if, you know, not in your mind you say, hey, I'll fight whenever. I called you out, you waited a whole month. Like, no. So you can't say, oh, I fight anybody. No, I feel like he dodged me for a whole month, and then all of a sudden, okay, now I want this fight. No, it don't work like that.
Okay. So now we get to see it, and it's for a title. It's for the belt. And I mean, to be getting a title shot at 3-0. I mean, it makes sense, especially on these local scenes, amateur. You know, that's a good thing in the way you've been winning convincingly. I mean, you've only had one decision. You know, and you know, Scott being 4-4. I mean, this is a very deserving belt for both of you. I think it's an excellent fight. It's a good fight, and this is one where you get to see where both of you are at. I mean, he is known for his ground. He's got a lot of submissions, and I've seen your fights go to the ground and just lots of ground and pound. So I mean, this is going to answer a question that I brought up. I believe it was after the Carson Hardman Brian Thomas fight, and I talked about it on one of my solo podcasts where I was saying that I think, you know, I think a lot of times jiu-jitsu can be nullified with good ground and pound. And so that was kind of my statement that I made, because I felt like Carson has good jiu-jitsu, and I felt like Brian Thomas's just his ground and pound was just overwhelmed him, and he couldn't put anything on it because it was just constant moving. So this is one of those fights where I think what I'm asking for gets to be on display. But I also have a feeling that because of the ground that you both have, we might just see a stand-up fight between the two of you, because I mean, that's a lot of times that's what you see when you see two ground guys, which again, crowd wins in both situations.
They do.
You know,
they really do.
The crowd the fans get what they want, which is a good fight, and I'm excited for this fight. Like this whole card, again, like I am for so many cards, is an excellent card. It's a great card from top to bottom. There's a few new guys of names that I don't really know, but I trust Kevin and Pat's matchmaking, and so for them to say this is the fight we want to make for the belt, like this is definitely this is definitely deserving to be a title fight. What are your thoughts? Do you have a mindset of like how many amateur fights you're going to have before you want to go pro? I mean, a lot of people, they get the AMI belt and then they're like, okay, I'm going pro, and then it's the belt's vacant again.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea, a number in your head of how many you want to put in before? Or
I actually do. I got a friend of mine who said, you know, apparently if I win the belt, you know, he's gonna call me out.
A friend of yours that's going to call you out?
No, so he's a friend of a friend.
Okay.
And he's been hearing, hey, you know, if Justin wins, I'm going to call him out. I'm not going to say the name. I know who it is.
Tell me once we turn these off. I want to know who it is.
I will. And so I'm like, you know what? All right, you know, if he wants to call me out, I will fully accept it. I mean, I'll even tell Pat and Kevin, you know, that's the fight that I want. If I do win the belt, and I mean, even if I lose, I'm still going to want to fight him.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and that's the fight that I think I want next after this fight is that one. And if he declines it, then, you know, maybe, you know, with Pat and Kevin's blessing, you know, maybe I'll go out of state for a fight, see how I stack up, you know, with an out-of-state fighter, you know, or maybe they bring somebody in.
We'll bring someone in.
So
we'll keep you in house. We'll bring someone in. All right, Kevin, Pat. Well, let's bring someone in for the champ.
And so, you know, go from there, and then after that fifth fight, you know, I'll sit down with my coaches and see what they think, and if they think that I should still stay AMI, I'm going to stay AMI.
Okay.
If they're like, hey, you know, let's do go pro, and then I'm going to go pro. But, you know, I'm not going to make a decision just because I won a belt.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm going to listen to my coaches. They know what's best for me when it comes to me with my training, my fighting.
Yeah.
And so if they say, hey, let's go pro after your fifth one, I'm going to go pro. If they say, hey, let's stay AMI for one or two more fights, I'll stay AMI.
Yeah. You know, well, I just was going to say, officially, you're not a champ until you defend your belt. So every fighter on that one. Every UFC fighter's like, you're not a champ until you defend your belt. So, you know, of course, as a promotion, it's fun to have a reigning champ. It's fun to have someone. So but of course, we always support everybody to do what they need to do, or what they feel is best for their career. I just want to. This isn't specifically for you. This is for anybody who's paying attention. Like, you know, you said, or maybe this was an earlier conversation we were having about you going on Tapology. But if you look at like any of the pro, like the UFC fighters, like they have extensive amateur careers, and I see a lot of fighters that have very short amateur careers that jump to pro right away. And I'm nobody to tell anybody what to do with their career, but I think there's just something to be said with experience, and it's a lot tougher if you're getting experience at the pro level than at the amateur level, because at the pro level, that's when it counts. You know, no one says, you know, you were 17 and 10 as an amateur, you're not that good of a fighter. You know, you're a 50-50 fighter or whatever. They don't even look at that. So get that learning process out of the way. But, you know, to everyone, do what you got to do. Make that money. I'm a supporter of people making money and taking care of themselves. So do what you got to do. But I'm just saying, like, long term, what you really want to do, if you really want to go to the next level, look at them, look what they did, follow that blueprint for the most part. Because, you know, all of us think we're so good. Like, we all do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always like, oh, I could go pro, but no, man, I'm not taking a head kick.
I don't think I'm that good. I think I'm just a little bit average right now, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm a great fighter just yet. I mean, I've only had 3 fights in the cage.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I look at some of the greats, like, I mean, John Jones right now. Yeah. You know, George St. Pierre. Yeah. Lance Palmer. I watch him closely. You know, I mean, he's going back to the PFL championship for the second time.
Yeah.
That dude's a beast.
Yeah.
You know, I watch those guys and just what they do. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, I'm little fish here over here, and these guys are just huge. I'm just like, if I want something like them, like, I have to get this experience first before I could even try and come close to those guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, just look at the welterweight division. Look at this fight we had this last weekend. Did you watch the Usman-Covington fight?
I actually didn't.
Oh, dude, you've got to.
So I was over at my boy Tyler's house watching the fights, and we left I think we left just right after the Amanda Nunes fight, because we were itching just to go train. Dude, let's go down, let's go train.
You've got to sit down and watch that fight. So, it is, in my opinion, it's the fight of the year.
Really?
For sure. In the entire year of fights, we've seen some great fights. In my opinion, that was the fight of the year, hands down. It was, and those are welterweights. That's where you're aspiring to be. That was, dude, that fight was so good.
I'll be honest, the fight that I'm actually paying close to right now for welterweight is Conor McGregor and Cowboy.
Don't bring up that fool's name in my house.
No, sorry.
Not in my house.
Sorry. I was just saying, I'm just looking at that. You know, I mean,
I'm looking at it too. I want to see Cowboy kick his head off. I cannot stand that guy. But that's going to be a fun fight. It's going to be a fun sell. It's going to sell a bunch of tickets. It's going to be a fun one to watch. The trash talk's going to be, I hope, good. And yeah, it'll be a good fight. Obviously, he's one of the best fighters in the world. As much as I hate to admit it, he is. But the Usman Covington fight it's the fight of the year.
I did watch a little bit of a clip when Colby sat down on his chair. I think it was after the third round. He looked at his coach. He's like,
"My jaw's broke."
My jaw's broke.
Yeah.
And coach is like, "I need 10 more minutes."
Yeah.
My jaw's broke. I need 10 more minutes.
And he went in there.
And my mindset, my coach is saying, "Hey, I need 10 more minutes. Yeah, your jaw's broken. Guess what? Suck it up, Bird Cup."
And that's what he did. And a lot of people gave him that fourth round. That next round was his after the jaw was broken. So, I mean, dude, as much as you don't like that dude, he can fight as much as.
I think he holds the record for most strikes too, thrown and landed, if I'm not mistaken.
And if anything, he probably doubled that because it was punches in bunches for both of them. Just watch it. Just watch it, man, and let me know what you think. Because again, going back to like, you know, looking at where you want to go and where you want to be and assessing yourself where you're at. That right there is the pinnacle of the welterweight division.
It is.
You had, you know, George St. Pierre who ran it for years and ran over everybody for years. He was like, okay, he's the prototype of perfection, I guess. But these two are like, I could go on. That fight, I was so stoked about that fight. I was so pumped about that fight. I was disappointed in some of the other ones in the night, but that one was hands down, in my opinion, the fight of the year. If you disagree, go ahead and hit me up. Hit me up. Let me know what you think was better.
If you say it's fight of the year, to be honest with you, I'll go watch and I'll probably agree with you just because of how you're saying that, and I trust your judgment on that. And
it was just yeah. You'll see. Go ahead. All right. So back to your fight. Now again, I know we've talked about both of you are skilled on the ground. Where do you think that your absolute strength is in this fight, coming into this fight with Scott?
My strength, athleticism, and my wrestling. I think I can definitely out-wrestle him, and, you know, use my strength to my advantage. I know he's going to try and use that against me. Maybe, you know, he's going to think that I'm going to come in overconfidently with that. But I'm just going to go in there cool and collective. Jake's taught me a lot, you know, just go in there, clear head, clear mind, and do you know, stick to your game plan, and it's going to stick.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to go.
And on the flip side, where do you see his strengths being? Obviously, he's got 4 wins. He's dangerous somewhere. Where do you see his strengths being? What are you going to try to avoid in this fight?
With my takedowns, I'm going to make sure that he can't, you know, get me in a guillotine. Definitely not going to give him my back. I know he got a rear naked choke on my boy Kyle, and finished him with that. And so, you know, I got to be careful with that.
Protect the neck.
Exactly, protect the neck. And I think that's what I need to do, is just make sure I don't give my back up to him and protect my neck.
Nice. So anybody who has not been to a lumberjack fight, what do they have to look forward to seeing? What do you guarantee the fans every time you get in the cage?
Excitement. You know, I know all 3 of my fights. I watch them over and over to see the mistakes I've made, and one thing that sticks out is, I mean, I'll catch somebody, wrap them up, and I'll drive them halfway across the cage and slam them down afterwards. And I mean, that's what everybody likes to see, is, you know, those big takedowns, and that's what you're going to see, is some big takedowns, the ground and pound game, and hopefully, you know, I'll cut them open. There's going to be some blood around this time. So.
All right. Okay. And this is so I'm guessing all your fights have been in Steelfist, correct?
Correct.
Is there a reason for that? They're the best.
They are the best. And Pat and Kevin, I mean, they communicate with me. They send me fights. They're like, hey, you know, this dude's, you know, this is his background. We think that you're going to match up great just because of your background with them. What do you think? All right, you know, let me go back and talk to my coach first. You know, I don't want to, you know, say yes, and also my coach is like, smacks me upside the back of the head. You know, he's like, what were you thinking? You know, and so, you know, I don't think they favor anybody in Steelfist when it comes to Pat and Kevin. I think they, you know, they look at 2 fighters and they just look at their backgrounds and be like, you know what, these two are going to be great fighting each other.
Yeah.
One may be an excellent stand-up guy. The one that he's facing is ground. So it's like, let's see where it goes. Is the stand-up guy, is he going to make it nothing but stand-up, or is the ground guy going to try and go to the ground with them?
Yeah. Well, I know. As far as these matchmaking for these guys, I've had tons of fighters that I've been talking with Kevin and Pat, and they've been like, they'll tell me on a personal level, they know this guy, they love this guy, he's part of the family, and then they set him up with like an absolute killer. Like there really is no favoritism in them, and they just get excited. Especially Pat gets so excited about good fights. Like that's just his thing. Is like he's just like, this is gonna be a good fight. Like he just gets so excited about good fights that and just the way you said, like there is no favoritism. There is no. It's just all about what is the best fight to make. What is the best fight that they can put together at that moment.
It really is, because if they put two good fighters together, then both of them are going to sell tickets, because then people are going to look up the person that they're fighting, like, oh hey, this person's a really good fighter too. I want to come. I would definitely want to get a ticket to this and come watch these guys. Battle it out. And I think that's what you're going to see with me and Devlin. Is us two going in there. I know he lost the belt to Zach, and so I know he's going to come in here and want to get his revenge. Personally, I think I'm gonna see the best Scott Devlin that anybody's seen in the past 8 fights. And so, I can't go in there and get my head too big, and if I make a mistake, he's going to catch me. So I got to make sure what I do is absolutely perfect. I feel like if I mess up anywhere, he can submit me for sure.
Well, that's a smart way to approach it, knowing that you're going against a dangerous guy. The people who overlook and usually never ends up well.
It doesn't.
So, do you have anybody you want to thank? Any sponsorships? Anybody we need to give shout outs to?
Just my teammates for being there, always, help me. They may learn something that, maybe I wasn't there for that day, or something that they saw, and they'll teach it to me, or, they show up to my past fights, and I'll be at training, 3 days later. They're like, hey, we saw how you messed up on this. So I just want to thank my teammates for always supporting me and helping me out with that. I want to thank my family. My little boy, he'll be there this time to watch me, so that's going to be pretty exciting. My sponsors, Frequency Mobile Innovation, Diversified Coatings, Elite Meal Prep, Big O Tires and Bountiful, let's see, White Buffalo Beard Company, and then West End Barbers.
All right. And if you know Justin, if you don't know Justin, and you became a fan of him because of this podcast, if anything, if you want to watch him get his butt kicked,
it can happen.
Buy tickets from him. It directly helps the fighter. If you buy tickets from the fighter, it helps them. So please, if you know him, if you want to support him, if you don't want to support him, but you just want to see him get his butt kicked, buy tickets from him, because at the end of the day, it helps him out. It helps out all fighters. If you cannot get to him and you don't know any fighters on the card, go to steelfistfight.com and buy your tickets. They make excellent stocking stuffers. I'm going to say that, but this isn't going to come out till after Christmas. But still, they're going to make great presents, great weekend getaway gifts, nice date idea. Take your loved one to the fights. Make sure you buy tickets. January 4th is the night of the fight at the Union Event Center, where we always have our fights. You can find this podcast on YouTube, iTunes, and iHeartRadio under Undefeated by Choice. You can find us on Instagram at Steelfist Fight, and you can find us on Facebook at Steelfist Fight Night. Everybody, make sure you are getting your tickets for this fight. This is one of many title fights that is on the card. This is an exciting card. We're going to kick off the year. Most shows want to have the last show of the year be the biggest of the year. I think we're starting out the year with the biggest card of the year, and the only person who can prove me wrong are the matchmakers. So everybody, be good to yourself, be good to each other. I love you. Let's begin.